Hello, fellow wargamers and history buffs. I'm recently returned from beautiful Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where the Latai Fest Mark II was held last week, and I've got some updates to share with you. So first off, I wanted to say that I had a lot of fun. What was really great about these sorts of conventions and get-togethers is a chance to catch up with friends that, since I'm on the West Coast and they're on the East Coast, we can only see each other face to face at a conference like this. So it was great to catch up with folks I hadn't seen in some cases for 5 years. And the other thing that was great was meeting a whole bunch of new players and making new connections, which I look forward to playing with those folks on Vassal during the year and then hopefully catching them at future conferences. So Thomas Fernbacher organized this event, and it was held at the Days Inn at Gettysburg. We had a nice-sized meeting room that was, at one point in time, hosted 6 tables of Latai games. We had over the course of the week, about 15 players were in there, and I know the hope is that we'll have twice that many in the coming years. The event itself went very smoothly, and for some of us that were there, we took the advantage of Tom being an expert on the Gettysburg battlefield to get a tour from him, which was a lot of fun and very eye-opening for someone who hadn't really had the opportunity to walk the ground and see how all of that worked. So I played 2 Latai games while I was there. The first was a Yena hypothetical scenario, sort of alternate history. So instead of the Prussians being defeated at Yena and Auerstadt, instead they can combine their armies at a Yena, which we call that scenario Super Yena. This is part of the Marshall Enterprises Battles of Prussia 4-pack that came out a number of years ago. In this particular game, we played using the Regs 30 rules, and this was the first time in over a decade that I had played using Regs 30. And I realized that Regs 30 has gone through some renovations and some updates since I had originally played it back in 2011. The rules that I had back then made it very complicated and had all kinds of problems, and so I did not enjoy playing it back then, but I had a really good time playing with those rules this time. The gentleman that I was playing with had been playing with it for a little while, had gotten familiar with it, and what I found worked really well was that we were able to move the game along with a fair amount of progress by picking sometimes multiple chits at a time, so that way we weren't waiting for one person to do everything and then the next chit got pulled, and the next chit got pulled. That was always my complaint with trying to do Regs or Marie-Louise in a team play scenario like this. The second game that I played was the Battle of Dresden. This was Scenario 3, which is, I guess, technically the second day of the battle. And we and Dave Block and I kind of jumped into it partway through. We'd finished our game of Yena. Our fellows that we'd been playing with had to leave to get back to work, and so we were still there for another several days. And so we took over on the French side, and with this particular game, we were playing using the 5th edition rules. It was David Block and I with the French against about 4 other guys that were on the Allied side playing the Russians, Prussians, and Austrians. The game itself went fairly smoothly, although we didn't have a chance to bring it to some sort of conclusion. A lot of times with these longer scenarios, they take a long time to kind of get to a place where you might have any sort of decision. And when we had to kind of pull the plug on the game because everyone was wrapping up for the week, we'd gotten to the point where the French reinforcements were just starting to pour on, and things were looking like the tide might change a little bit for the French. Altogether, I had a really great time at this event. I'm planning on going to it next year, and I would encourage anybody to try to get to a conference where they are playing Latai or whatever game you might love. It's a great way to meet new people and to bond over a shared passion for these games, but also a chance for you then to meet folks that you can play with online in other situations. So for me, going to conferences like like this Latai Fest, Consim, or the Buckeye Game Fest last year, way to connect with folks and have a lot of fun. Hey, if you would like to connect with other folks in the Labatai universe, there's a couple of places that you can do that. On Facebook, there is a Labatai series page, and you guys can join that. The other thing is that on Discord, we have a Labatai series Discord server where you can find other folks that you might want to play with online using Vassal. I'll have a link in the description below. And of course, you can also find information about Labatai, get questions answered on the Consim forums page for the Labatai series. I'll have links for all of those in the description below. As always, if you enjoy these videos, hit the like button. Leave any comments or questions in the section below. I do my best to answer everybody's response or comments. And until our next episode, keep playing games, keep having fun, and be well.